What's happened this last week?
Went to parent teacher conferences last night. Great place to meet people.
Yes, ooh, I didn't even think of
Your
that.
kids have friends, you meet their parents, so I was able to add a few contacts yesterday.
Yes, great idea. So for all of you young people, get married and have children, you'll have business in 8 to 10 years. Yeah.
That's good. I think Kylie said she's met a lot of people at playgrounds.
Yep.
Golf carts. Two, three, I think.
Yeah, Kylie will have buyer appointments at the park.
Yeah.
She'll be like, yeah, let's meet at the park. Yeah, you could get a dog. Dogs are great for that. Dog park, yeah. Yeah, cats aren't great for that, though.
I don't know, don't. I think it's just- My dog works closer.
What's the reason?
Well, I have a neighbor mom in Richmond.
Okay, I go to Pleasant Grove dog parks and people are so friendly. And if my dog's a border collie and he's like really calm dog, so I can approach other people and their dogs, "Can my dog meet your dog? Oh, what's your name? What's your dog's name? How long you been living in the neighborhood?" And kind of just go from there.
Boom. Who would know? A dog.
Dogs are needy girls.
Now he's engaged, so he's over that. He's getting rid of the dog. If anyone's looking to build their database.
She loves it.
Okay, well, that's a good one. What else?
And potential buyers are coming.
Nice. Tell us how you got it.
My old boss, who when I was quitting the transition to real estate, I told him where I was going and I should maintain a good relationship with him, and he texted me. Or I asked him if I could send him listings, he liked one of the ones I sent him, and then he went and got pre-approved and told me about it and said, when I get pre-approved, let's go look at houses.
Yes, past work. That's a great place.
I'm talking about-
Unless you were a bad worker.
Yeah.
And then don't reach out to those people. I always think that about when I'm calling my old high school friends. Like, hey, how you doing? Remember when you went streaking? Like, I want to sell you a house now. All right, new under contracts, new closings, new listings. Who's got something going on? I just put it under contract this weekend. My cousin finally pulled the trigger. I think rates coming down a little bit made her feel a little bit better. It was a great house too, so that helped. Anyone else got anything going? We got some listings coming. I know Trey's hopefully. Well, Trey, you gotta introduce yourself. Your first meeting, so
Yeah.
tell us about you.
I'm Trey. I just got here. Yeah, that's
You're
it.
you're like days being licensed, right?
Yeah, I got licensed 2 weeks ago on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, welcome,
Thank you.
welcome. Yeah, hopefully you can get those listings.
Yeah, hopefully.
Be the fastest to get a listing on the team. That's the goal. That's the goal here. Everyone else has been here, right? Yeah. Had to introduce yourselves. Okay, we got some awesome trainings coming on, October 1st for team meeting. So that's Tuesday in that room, right behind us. We have a panel with, let's see, how top realtors thrive by going above and beyond. It's customer experience. So we have Carl Spencer. He is like, he cares more about anyone that I know.
That's
We-
Sergeant Carl.
Yep.
Sergeant. He was-
Yeah, so we just went to this shooting event where we were trained by Navy SEALs how to shoot. Very interesting thing. I'll have to tell you about it one day. But we had this competition. We had to like pick a lock and run over and shoot some targets and climb up a rope and do all of these things. And everyone had gone and it was him very last. His partner got sick, but there was like some guy that didn't have a partner. He was more worried about his partner being sick than like going out and doing the race. So we're like, Carl, stop talking to people and like do it. So anyway, he's a carer. Alicia Keller and Kenya, is that her name? I don't know them as well, but I'm getting to know Alicia. She's really cool. So definitely come on Tuesday to that. Dean is now running broker office hours every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. So if you want to hear what people are asking that are like higher level questions, or if you're like, I wonder what broker Dean would teach me about anything real estate. You can pop in Tuesdays at 10, just kind of hang out. He's usually just hanging out here. beforehand. So if you have nothing else going, he's a good one to chat with.
That just next Tuesday?
It's gonna be every Tuesday. We're gonna start doing it. Yeah. So take advantage of it, or he's gonna stop doing it, and then you'll have to call him to talk to him. Or pop in his office. First time home buying seminar that's coming up, October 10th, 5:30 to 6:30. I've been confirming a lot of things, so we're probably gonna have Cafe Rio for dinner, like catered Cafe Rio, sponsored by Aries Mortgage, so Jake is gonna come do that. This week, you should be calling and texting your people and send out a mass email. The email can go right from command. If you have emails in command, Hunter can show you how to do that. It's real easy. You check everyone that you want to send it to, and then go up to the whole actions thing, and there's a send email. I had sent a template in the past. If you want to use whatever else you want to do, that is great. You don't have to use my template. I would suggest sending the link for them to register, so we know how many people are coming, so we get enough food. And that you know they're coming, and then let them know they can forward it to friends and family who should be buying houses. So this is gonna sneak up on us, so get ready. We're a few weeks away. See, next week is the 3rd, we're 2 weeks away today for this, so get ready. By the way, oh, that's my next slide. 5:30. So we'll probably be hanging out early. If they come a little bit early, we'll start the training at 5:30. So probably tell them to come a little bit early to grab their food, and then they can just kind of be eating while they listen and ask questions and whatnot. So we're gonna go over the whole process of buying a home, like pros of buying a home, why you should do it, the costs of buying a home, the process, and deep dive into a bunch of loans. So should be good. Invite your people. So today for our foundations training, this is 1 o'clock today. Jeanette is actually running this, so she's gonna go over all of the paperwork that you should have when you go to appointments. So what should you prepare for when you're going to an appointment, both buyers and sellers? And then what should you get signed, and how to explain these documents? So come with all your questions about documents, because she's gonna be running that one today.
How long does that usually take?
We do it for like an hour, but it's however long you want. Sometimes we're done in like 30 minutes, other times it seems like we're an hour and a half.
Okay.
Depending on how many questions you guys have.
Yeah.
Next week for team meeting, we are gonna do negotiating. I'm working with Cavan Helps to come up with scenarios. So I don't know exactly how it's gonna be. What we have thought out right now is half the room will be buyers and half the room will be sellers. You'll have a situation going on, and you are gonna negotiate against each other to try to get the best deal for your client. So, we'll see how it progresses between today and next week, but, it should be fun. So very hands-on negotiating, to get that. And then next week, at 1 o'clock, we're doing making offers. Then the 10th, we are actually not going to have our team meeting like this. You still should show up. It is the day of the first time home buyer seminar. So you should do last minute invites and a reminder to everyone that you talk to. So kind of use that as prospecting. I'm gonna be in a regional leadership meeting, so won't be there.
Another question on the 10th. Did you
Yes.
hear about the thing that they sent everybody about there's like a new home community going up, and they wanted to invite all the agents out to check it out, and then they offer
No.
like free food and stuff?
No,
like
but I
that?
love those.
Is that the red side?
Mm. Where's the community?
You'll not-
Yeah, you'll know.
Yeah.
I go to those often. It's fun. The houses are always nice, so you can take pictures and videos, share it on social media. It's nice to get a free lunch, get to know people,
Do they
things
have
like
an
that. I probably go to a couple a year. Angie, you're in the right place.
Okay, good.
So you would prioritize the first time home buyer seminar?
Yeah, is it at night?
It's the same time.
Oh, yeah, do the first time home buying stuff. But if it's like a lunchtime thing, then you can go stag lunch there and do all of this. Okay. I have a script challenge for you. So I want everyone to partner up with someone And one of you be the seller, the other is the agent, and then you can quickly switch if we have time. Pretend like you were talking to someone that is thinking about selling their home, and they say, I think I will try selling this on my own. This is inspired by you, by the way. So we are helping Trey right now. So partner up, everyone find a friend. Oh, look at this. We have an even number. This is perfect. Okay.
If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, cause I want.
We don't need to be the seller. The first reason I would. So we could list it higher if you. So you could decide when it's 60, 70 days. You're gonna end up losing. That's the price of I think I would try selling this on my own. The price is.
This is what we do, Amy.
Yeah.
I forgot you even took it. Are you ready to invest now?
Well, I need, can I ask you for another thing?
Yeah.
I heard you have some really good slides that you did for a productivity meeting.
Oh, about investing. Yeah. I'll send you a video. I have a video that I didn't do, but it's about the slides.
Yeah.
And you can say like you have people that.
All right, wrap it up. Okay, who had a good answer? Anyone have good thoughts? Who liked their partners? Who liked their own? What was said? What worked well?
You have your own, not like connections, like discounts. If the seller might try to, improve their home. You have, hey, I have a flooring discount, 10-15%. I know a dyer, I have people that will help us and stuff.
Yeah, you're not just selling the house, you
can
got
also-
connections for everything, like that. Yeah, what else? What's the like underlying message that they're saying here?
So what I picked up is typically people who want to sell their home on their own, it's purely financial.
Yes,
They think they're gonna get more money. And when that was said to me, the first question I asked is, why? What is your motivation to sell your home on your own? And then obviously it comes out, well, I think I can make more money, I'll only have to pay a commission to one agent as opposed to two. And I'm at a loss here because I would want to look at the statistics, how long does the home sit on the market if it's for sale by owner versus having a real estate agent involved? And then again, like you guys have taught us every day, showing the value of having a real estate agent, somebody who's tapped into a network, has connections with people that they can bring in. and networking with other real estate agents who may have a buyer. These people don't have that network, and so that's a definite benefit for agents,
Yep,
marketing, so on and so forth.
hey,
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
That's crazy.
sorry, I was only looking at this side of the room. You're not allowed to talk.
So, I said, Christian, he also brought up this money, what you kind of mentioned about how long this could be on the market, and I just mentioned, I have more connections, I can get it fixed up, we can get proper staging, if you would like, we can get professional photography, and most likely will help to sell, the home sell faster, especially if that's what you care about. And at the end of the day, we're gonna get you better terms. The home isn't gonna feel like such a big burden to sell because that's my job.
Yeah,
I want to do all of this for you, and someone said something and they thought of something else, but no.
thanks. All right,
I'm also gonna say like, maybe the reason they wanna sell on their own is they don't see the value of having an agent, so you didn't really show them your value and what you can do to help them and like
Yep.
why to pay a commission. So maybe just show your value more and what you can do for them.
yeah, exactly. It's like, if I were to go talk to Dean and tell him, hey, I'm gonna get the new iPhone, do you want my old one for $100? He'll say, no way, I don't want that, that's not worth that money, $100 isn't enough, but iPhone users, would an iPhone 15 Pro be worth $100? Like, yes. By the way, I'm not doing that, but my case is broken, so I'm trying to use that as an excuse to my wife. I'm like, well, I have to buy a new case. Maybe I should just get the new phone. She does things like that all the time. She's like, I need new tires. Maybe I should just get a new car. I'm like, no. So I'm gonna use that on her, see if it works.
So I had an experience like this summer, and I feel like it could be a good story that people. could
Yes,
share.
tell us your story.
People who are in this situation. So there was a for sale by owner home in my neighborhood. It was listed for like 2 months, and I would like talk to him, and he's like, I went to his garage sale, and it's $1 million home. And he's like, yeah, I'm hoping that this garage sale will bring people to come look at the home. And I'm like, well, that's not really, you can say this, that's not really how you market $1 million home as a garage sale. He had no showings on the home all summer. I like nurtured the relationship throughout the summer, got some good scripts from these classes. And the script was, hey, if I bring a buyer, about buyers that I'm working with, would you be willing to give commission? Like, sure. So then I ended up doing an open house for him while I was still for sale by owner. We got, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7, 10 families there, which is pretty good. Just by signs and social media. We got no offers, but interested buyers. So that's kind of as much as you can do with for sale by owner. My hands are tied behind my back. That's what I can do for you. I'm glad we could get some marketing. Eventually, a couple weeks later, he wanted me to be his agent. As his agent, we did an open house, just like a month after the first open house. It had 20 people there, 3 offers within like 24 hours. The difference was, it was on all of the different websites. And so we got the serious buyers. It wasn't just people driving by on a Saturday seeing the signs. It was people with agents who really were working with clients who were in that market. And then we went under contract, that weekend. So I like that story. I'm kind of a science person. I like the case studies. So I think that's just such a great example. You can share like the difference, and we're under contract and closing in a week.
Yeah, multiple offers, and then that offer canceled, and then you got multiple offers again.
It's only been on the market a few days.
That's,
Whereas he got no showings in 2 months, like no showings.
yep,
So.
there's the difference. Yeah, so it's all financial, which equals to me not showing your value.
Because we can put it on the MLS.
Yep.
It's like, they can't do that.
Yep,
That's what
the MLS is super powerful. Yeah, Amy.
Question. Are there agents out there that you can pay to just put on the MLS? Because I've heard of that happening.
Yes. This was Homie's model. by the way. There is, oh, what's his name? I used to know it because when people are like, I think I'm going with Homey, I'd be like, that's a mistake, you're paying too much. And they're like, wait, they're way cheaper than you. I'm like, oh, there's people that are cheaper than Homey if that's the experience you want. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know that. I can't remember his name, but he would charge like $700 just to put it on the MLS. He would do nothing else, not a single thing. He would not put a sign in the yard. He wouldn't take photos. He wouldn't answer calls from agents. It literally said, don't call me, call the seller. Here's their phone number in the MLS. And he sold houses. Yeah, but then Homey tried to do it cooler, I guess. I don't know the difference from what they were doing. It seemed cooler. But they would charge more money. So when someone's like, oh, I think I'm gonna go with Homey, you're paying too much. Cause someone will do it cheaper.
So is it still a little bit?
I think it's still a company. They're trying to do more referral fees, is what I hear. But they don't have agents really working for them anymore, so. The model doesn't work, I'll tell you that much. Cause people are like, why didn't my house sell? And then their answer is, I don't know, you paid me the money up front, so I'm happy. I don't care if it sells. You already paid me my 700, my 1,000, my 2,000, whatever it costs. So I'm done. I put it on the MLS like you wanted me to. So maybe an interesting model if you want to do that, just collect money and not do any of the work. Don't do that though. People won't like you. A couple of things that I was going to mention. Sometimes I'll joke with people when they're like, I think I want to sell it on my own. I'll be like, oh, do you want to be a real estate agent? And they're like, no. And then I almost seem like so confused, like, wait, what? Like you're gonna do the job without wanting the job, being a real estate agent, and kind of joke with them about how much it is. So you can have fun with that, but ultimately it's like, if I'm able to make you 3% more because of all that I'm doing, then I have covered my whole cost. And there's some people that are like, well, I'm an attorney, I could sell it on my own. It's like, yes, you could. How much are your billable hours when you're working as an attorney? How many hours are you going to work on this? What's the cost difference? What if you paid me the same to go do that and you just did your billable hours? Or don't give yourself a second job. Let me do all the work, right? Leverage this out. So interesting thought there. Okay, let's talk. Oh, I kept database in there. That shouldn't say database. Q4 plan, not database. Maybe that was subconscious because that's what it should be. We're going to talk today about the GPS, which stands for Goals, Priority, Strategies. So this is a one-page document that is very boring looking that will be your business plan for the next 90 days. Okay, and we are going to create that today. But before we do, I want to have this, and this is a real conversation. You can answer these internally. I want a few answers out loud too. So if everything goes well in real estate, where would you like to be someday in the future?
Top 10% luxury.
What does that mean?
I want to sell the luxury homes that are within the top 10% price range.
Okay, you're selling the expensive, nice houses. Yeah, what else?
I have multiple doors, like portfolio.
Own some rentals. Like that, what else? Ooh, yeah,
Flipping?
ooh, flip some houses, that'd be cool. What else, anyone else?
Lake house.
Yeah, I like where you're thinking. Let's get you a couple of lake houses. There's a lot of lakes in this world. Get a beach house too, might as well. I would love to own a house in Hawaii that I don't have to rent out. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, you don't need an Airbnb it. It's just like, I have too much money. What do? I guess I'll just put it in a house in Hawaii. Cause that's like the one place I feel like I could go to forever and not be upset. Everywhere else, I'm like, I would rather just rent and then explore, not Hawaii. I'll be okay there. Ski in, ski out, yeah. Okay, so to get there someday, where would you need to be 5 years from now? Could your goal be accomplished in 5 years, or does it take longer than that? Gary Keller says we underestimate what we can do in 5 years and overestimate what we can do in 1 year. It's like realistically, these goals that you have, could you be there in 5 years? It might be unrealistic for me to have so much money that I need to just throw money into like a multi-million-dollar house in Hawaii. So that may be a someday. I don't know, maybe I could get there in 5 years. I could see a world where that happens. So think, where do you need to be 5 years from today to be on that path or to hit that goal? Okay, let's bring it down. 12 months from now. Where do you need to be 12 months from now so you are on the path to hit your 5-year or your someday goal? I want real answers now.
Hopefully in 12 months, with my short-term goals, that'll be enough where I can invest in my next house.
No, we're going long-term to short-term.
Yeah, but this says 12 months.
Yeah, but you said short-term to long-term.
I meant the month-by-month goals.
Yeah, we're not talking about our months yet.
Oh.
You're one slide ahead of us. Where do you need to be 1 year from now so that you can be on the path to hit your 5-year or someday goal? Like if you want to flip a house, where do you need to be 12 months from now? And
A year from now, I'd like to have another house, so I can buy a house every year, so in 5 years, I can have 5 houses.
yes, Peter Morkel, an agent in this office, gave me that advice when I first started as an agent. He said the best thing you could do financially is buy a house every single year. Whatever that looks like. And I thought, you know what? I can live in a new house every single year. So I bought a house that year and I lived in it for exactly 1 year. I hated the neighborhood, so it was really easy to move. And then I bought my next house. And that one I was in a little bit longer. I wasn't as financially set as I thought I was when I bought my second house. And so I lived there a year and a half and bought my third house. And my wife said, we are never doing this again. Figure out a new way to buy houses. And it has been more difficult since then. Real easy when you're house hopping. Young people definitely do that. Old people, good luck.
Well, I'm gonna go kind of a different direction with this.
Yes.
Because we're talking about material things. For me, it would be, expanding the network, and the relationship with people, because eventually, long term, that's where I'm going to get the business from. You know,
So you want
5
this
years.
rocking database.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, his is a database plan. I had it right in my slide. Yeah. Relationships. Yeah. Amy,
I guess my goal would be a transaction a month.
I love
I
that.
don't know exactly, like, if that's about where I'd be, but that seems like a good goal, like, 1 a month.
So I have yet to hear a goal. Well, no, I've heard one person that has given me a goal since I started real estate that has seemed too crazy to ever do. Joey Siebert, do you guys know him? He's at the brokerage still. He's upstairs. He is the only person that has ever given me a goal where I thought, I don't think anyone could do that. He's the only one.
Did you do it?
Definitely not. It was like make 2 or 3 million in GCI his first year. I'm like, I don't know if there's a game plan that exists for that. Like maybe if you're selling like multiple top 10% of the market kind of a thing, like you might be able to get there, but yeah. Yeah. Everyone else that has ever said a number to me, I think there is a way to do that. It's just, are you willing to put in the work? So 1 a month, that is very real. There are a lot of agents that do that. There are a lot of brand new agents that do that. It is doable. It is not easy, but it is doable. So to be there in 12 months, where would you need to be next month?
1/12 of the way.
Maybe. So let's take Amy's goal here. For her to be able to close 1 a month for the next 12 months, where does she need to be next month?
She needs to have X amount of appointments set, or X amount of appointments.
Does she need to close 1 next month? Like Bill's joke, 1/12 way there? Does she have to hit that 1 a month goal?
You can do 2 the next month.
She could make up for it, right? We're averaging to 1 a month, so that's doable. So what do we need to do? Okay, let's bring this to action. What would you need to do this week to be on pace to close 1 a month? Amy, or I mean, you could do all of this for your goals. Angie, what were you gonna say?
So you have 5 leads a week.
5 leads, move them along, hopefully 2 or 3 of them convert to an appointment and 1 of those ends up closing. Those are very real numbers.
That have alerts set up so that the people I have been working with, I'm sending them homes and keeping them top of mind.
I almost feel like I should be writing these things down. This is good. What else? Alerts, generate 5 leads a week. Who else has ideas?
I mean, you could, there's never nothing bad in memorizing or just getting used to the rep C and just having everything down.
Skill build, yep. Yeah. Don't let that slow you down.
Do those case studies, super familiar with.
I feel like you've been talking about that for 3 months now, Amy.
That's like one of those things. What is today foundations?
It's preparing documents for appointments. What should you bring, and then how do you explain them?
Oh, like,
Mm-hmm. Exclusive right to sell. Do you need to bring the wire fraud?
Yeah.
Disclosure, there's a lot of documents. Do you need all of those? You'll have to come at 1 o'clock to figure out. Yeah, some of this stuff. So. What would you need to do today? What's the one thing such by doing it, everything else would become easier or unnecessary?
1 week.
1 lead, right? If we follow the Angie plan, you need to get 5 leads that you're converting to get to a closing. How can you get 1 lead? Does that sound crazy today? If you woke up and you looked at your calendar and you had nothing on it, and your whole goal was to get 1 lead, could you do that? What would happen to your business if you did that every single day that you woke up? At least the weekdays. 5 times a week, you got a lead. Do you think you could close 1 a month? Does that seem easy to close 1 a month? Some of you are almost smiling or laughing, like this is too easy. Sometimes we make it hard, but
Yeah, it's like easier said than done.
yes,
You, like, we could all go knock, 50 doors a day if we wanted to, but are we actually doing it? Are you actually time blocking for it? It's
yes.
like, it's sort of like a mental struggle, like, do I do this or do I go do this? It just depends on.
Yeah, because, okay, let's talk about that for a second. You could get 1 lead. How would you do that? Right now, I said, you don't get to go to your house until you get 1 lead. If you live in the streets until you get 1 lead today, where do you go find it? How do you find a lead?
Contacts.
Call your sphere, ask for referrals, is that what you're thinking? Okay, I haven't said door knock, what else?
Grocery stores, dog parks.
Go talk to all the random strangers. PG, is that the one that everyone's friendly? Steal someone's dog because you can't go home to get yours. Or you just hang out and pretend like you can't find your dog. That might help. Okay, go talk to those random people, door knock, call your sphere, anything else?
Social media.
Open house, social media, these are so many things. So what should you be doing? Because the question was, what's the one thing such by doing it, everything else becomes easier or necessary? Should put that instead of this. So that is what you need to figure out, and that is what we are gonna figure out right now. So this is called goal setting to the now that we just did. This works very great for everything in life. Every year in November, I help run this thing that we call the retreat, where we set goals in 7 areas of life. So it's health. We call that one soul. I think we call it soul, fun, relationships, career, money, and impact. Those are our 7 areas that we set goals in. And we go through this kind of an idea with these goals. What are some of your someday goals? What are the bucket list items? How do we move these down and things like that? I'm trying to get it so everyone in this team can go to something like that. We usually charge 100 to 150 bucks for that. So we're gonna work on that, see how we can do it. Again, TBD, I don't know. November-ish. We should probably be doing it all right now. This is if we don't do a big one, I'm gonna run my own. So we'll see. So this is the process that you take because we want to figure out where we should focus now. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to bring that down to some amount of time. Gary Keller says either 1 quarter or 1 year at a time, and we make a business plan around that. I used to do a yearly business plan with this GPS, and I would not stick to it because you know what happens in 3 months? I completely shift my focus and I realize everything I wrote down either is wrong or is not working, or I'm not working my plan that I wrote down. And so I shift to a whole new plan. So now I just do them quarterly, real easy, because then I can change my mind every 3 months and still be moving forward towards my ultimate someday goal. So a couple rules with this when you are making this, and we are going to do this in a moment together. So the goal, it should be easy to track. So my favorite things to put on here are like closed units, number of appointments, that should say GCI or income earned. Like you need to know, did I accomplish this? Yes or no? Like it should be as easy as that. The priorities should be trackable as well. And they are in order of most important. They are actually priorities. So if your goal is to close 3 transactions, right? We'll just go with Amy's and do 3 transactions closed per quarter because that's 1 a month. Then what are the priorities to do that? You can't just say sphere of influence because that's not trackable. So you need to know, did I win or did I lose with this? The strategies are specific enough that someone else could do them or that you would know what they're talking about if they put them down. They should have dates, deadlines, or how often. Right? Like if it's like, I need to get 200 contacts in my database. If that is your part of your strategy to accomplish this, the priority of sphere of influence that's more specific than that, when are you going to have that done? And if you don't have a deadline, it never gets done. Every task on my phone, I use reminders for all of my tasks. Everything has a deadline on it. Now that deadline's made up by me, so it's real easy to push, but at least every day I get reminded. I'm like, I didn't do that thing that I've wanted to do for a while. Let's push it 2 more weeks. So, okay. This is what it looks like. I have a copy of this for everyone. So we can start setting some of our goals. So this is for the next quarter. So by the end of the year, what do you want to have accomplished would be your goal. You guys have 10. I found 4. Oh, so, and as you're filling this out, let me even give you some examples and then we can kind of walk through all together with some thinking here. Anyone else need a pen? Got 2 left. Okay. So let me show you a bad example first. So the goal starts out pretty okay. I want to put 3 homes under contract. This is a lot better in my mind than close 3 homes, because if you have 0 homes under contract, when can the first home close? At least 30 days from now. So you're already 30 days behind your goal. But if you don't have any under contracts, you could at least put 1 under contract tomorrow, today. Like there's no limit to how soon you can put it under contract. You probably need a client. They probably need to go through the showing process. It might take a bit, but that is real. So the bad example is I'm going to do this through my SOI. That's priority number 1. It's not a bad priority, but how do you know if you're winning or losing with this? If you're not SOIing, I don't know. There's no way to track that. Then the strategies, they're very vague. Talk to more people. That is a good idea, but you have no thing. First time home buyer seminar, we are doing it, but we don't know, like, what are you doing? Is that invites? Do you want a certain number of people there? There is definitely a date on that, so what are you doing before that? Call more people. That's very similar to talk to more people, but it's definitely different. But how? Go to lunch with friends, great. Maybe open houses, what does that look like? How many open houses are you doing? How many leads are you getting from open houses? I'm just gonna put out signs and respond in WhatsApp. These are funny because this is what most people have as a game plan. I am pretty sure that half of you told me that you need to talk to more people as part of what you want to accomplish. I have heard a lot of you say, I'm gonna do open houses. And when we say, great, how do you do that? I'm gonna put out more signs. Alex and I just talked about how many signs to put out, when to put them out, things like that. We were almost circling around this as a game plan. And respond in WhatsApp, me and Bill were talking about that this morning. And he's like, I gotta be faster. Faye's the one that gets all the good stuff because she responds quickly. So these are not bad ideas, but it's not a plan that we're gonna run. So here would be an example of how we could clean that up. So we keep the same goal. We're gonna put 3 homes under contract, but then we're gonna get very specific to know what we're doing. So priority number 1 could be something like, I'm gonna go on 3 appointments with my sphere of influence. That's my goal, that's my priority. Then my strategies should lead me to that. So I'm gonna follow the DTD2 call plan. If you've never heard of this, this means that you separate the first letter of their last name, and we're gonna call 2 letters. This week is Y and Z, because it's the last week. Next week is A and W. So something like that, following that 100%. I'm gonna get 10 people to the first time home buying seminar. I could even be more specific and say, by calling, texting, and emailing this many people. Because then I have a game plan that I can run to know that I'm gonna get 10 people. But this is at least giving me a little bit of a goal, and if I don't have 10 people there, I know I need to keep doing stuff. I'm gonna reach out to 5 people a day that are in my SOIB. These are the people that I don't feel very comfortable talking to. They might be friends from high school or people that you used to work with that you haven't talked to in 5-10 years. And all I'm gonna do is build the relationship. I'm gonna have 12 one-on-one lunches. That's 1 a week. I'm gonna go to lunch with someone. I'm gonna set 3 appointments from an open house. You'll notice that I kind of kept this theme of set appointments. You don't have to do that. You could say like, I'm gonna run 10 open houses, because that could have a similar impact. So maybe that's partner with 2 agents that have consistent listings, set up the listing alerts for all the listings in the brokerage so you can reach out to people. This should probably have a date. I'm gonna do that this week, boom, and then I'm giving them all. I'm gonna respond quickly to open houses needs in WhatsApp. That's probably the worst one on there, because how do you judge if you're really doing that? You just be more like they.
What do you mean by partner with teams or agents?
For example, the Red Sign team. I know a lot of their agents don't like doing open houses.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of listings coming on. If you were to talk to like Cody, who's the director of sales, or Trevor Ludlow, who's a transaction coordinator, and say, hey, look, I'm looking to do more open houses, they might put you on speed dial to reach out when they need someone. So that might just be coming to you. So that's almost like the marketing, like hopefully they respond. You know, the Wild team also has a lot of listings. Heather Groom tends to take a lot of listings, and she's really busy. I'm pretty sure she's not sitting in open houses. So like, if you go and look at some of these agents that have consistent listings in team meeting, when you're hearing all of these announcements, like maybe you're going to talk to 2 or 3 people that present their listing in team meeting. Like that could be a strategy. So something like that. And then you can set up a listing alert or even do a search on the MLS for homes that are listed in the last 7 days that do not have an open house from our brokerage. That could be like your frame that you're looking at. Maybe you decide your third is door knocking. Here's how it should run. In your day, you should focus number 1 on sphere of influence. And if this was your GPS, because that was what we said our number 1 is. So first thing first, you're doing all of these things. You're not even worried about open houses. This is an afterthought. Then when you get done with all of these things, You move to your open house plan, you do all of those things before you even think about door knocking. If you never get to door knocking, you probably will accomplish your goal with something, with these above it. If you never get to open houses because your SOI is rocking, it's probably because you're doing so great in that you're gonna hit your goal. So you start with priority 1, don't even think about priority 2 until you are done with priority 1, or there's nothing more you can do in it. So let's start to build this out. I have no more slides. What are you guys thinking for a goal? Shout some of these out and let's group build some of this.
Said I want to close my first deal on the 6 month.
Okay. Close 1 deal. Yep. Okay, 1 deal. So how are you listing out your priorities? What are your big priorities?
All of them, but I will look at those every day and look at it expired every day. When I do actually do that, things are on up and up, I'm not good about doing it. So I need to.
So your number 1 priority are FSBOs and expires over your sphere.
Yeah, because my sphere sucks. One person in my sphere is really good.
It's just because you're dating him.
Yeah, I know.
So I default to my priority number 1 being my sphere for a few reasons. Number 1, it's free. I have to pay 0 money to talk to my friends and family. So that is so easy. It is easier to make calls to friends and family than to call these people that don't know you and don't want to talk to you. Plus, you already have like some trust with them. So that seems so easy to me. If you do not fall in that bucket, you do not have to do that same game plan. I would suggest that you figure out a way to do that, but it might not be your priority 1, right? Mariah says she's young, her sphere is young, they're not buying and selling houses. So that's not her first priority. But it would be my first priority. We're different, same business. Okay, FSBO's expired. What's priority number 2? Or do you want to split those up into 2 priorities? FSBO's 1 priority, expired's another. We group them often, but they could be definitely different. And then how do you know if you're winning with FSBOs and expires? Is it, you mentioned an everyday kind of a thing, is it call, look,
I feel like
get
there's
closings or leads?
always traction, like whenever I do actually go after expired, I mean, literally, talks to expire every day at some point.
Yep,
So just going after the very recently expired and saying, hey, like, why didn't this sell? Are they still open to selling? Like, what happened and stuff? I feel like 80% of the agents, like, they still want that business to happen, and they're a little bit more desperate to get it sold, in a sense. So I feel like I'm in a better place to negotiate and break fire.
yeah. So looking at all the new expireds every day would be one of her strategies. You should probably call them every day, right? That's a better strategy than look at them. Is that what you're thinking?
Oh,
Call. There should also be a game plan for the ones that have been expired for more than a day, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you create a list and you have like a week, a month. Call all the new ones every 3rd day for 30 days or something, so they get 10 calls from you before you give up. Like you could have a game plan like that. So in hers might be actually build out part of this game plan. Like maybe she's building a database, even if it's like as easy as like a spreadsheet where she tracks like the last call and how many calls she's made or something like that. And says, I'm going to call everyone 10 times and I'm just going to call them every 3rd day or something like that. Monday, Wednesday, Friday might be the days I call. And I'm just going to call them 10 times.
did that annoy if there's a lot older?
Maybe. I don't know. We're working on a new class that I call real estate is not dating. So you wouldn't do that for someone you want to date, but maybe it works great for sale by owner. They're gonna definitely talk to you.
Okay.
They're either gonna be like, stop calling me, and that's why your conversation will be, Yeah. Sorry, I'm good at finding people and getting them to put offers in. Yep. Yep,
Cameron, can you
Okay.
put up your other slide?
my good and bad. Okay, what else do you guys have? Let's get some ideas out for everyone. What's another goal and what's your first priority?
My goal is just have a bigger social media presence, but what I'm struggling with is how I will keep score of that.
Yes,
Like, am I getting replies or getting questions from people or something?
I'm glad you're bringing this up. So. Is it possible that you could set a goal and not actually hit your someday goals? Cause if you wanna own doors. We're connecting dots here. Social media and having a big following, does that lead to someday him owning more doors? The real question.
To what?
So he wants to own some properties, own some rental properties. So does having a big social media equal owning properties?
Not necessarily.
It could though, right?
but it Depends on how he works
Could,
the social media. work.
yes, yes. So you need to make sure your goal actually takes you to your ultimate goal. So I'm not saying your goal is bad. You just need to make sure that you design it in such a way that it leads you to there. So if it's like gets leads from social media, that would definitely get you there. Engagement, followers is an easy one to track, but probably not a great one, because I could get a bunch of fake followers. Do you guys get like 10 friend requests a day, or is that just me?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know any of these people. I'm like, who are these people that want to be my friend? Like, some are real estate agents, I'm like, okay, maybe I should be your friend.
Yeah.
But like, some people are just like randos, that we have nothing in common, like no friends in common, like, how are they finding me? And then I just leave them unaccepted, not declined, so they can't ask me again. Hack.
It's just your.
People are just like, what would be the coolest person? It's gotta be a Cameron, and they're Wilson, yep. And they find me. There is another Cameron Wilson that lives in Salt Lake County. That is a real estate agent.
Wow.
And I hate him. We have the same eye doctor and we go to the same doctor. No,
That's yours.
no, but I want to. And then we would fight. Well, like the other day, I was like, you know, I'm getting old, I should get a physical, and so I called my doctor and I set the appointment. And then they called me back and they're like, hey, sorry, we set the appointment for the wrong Cameron. And we had all of this wrong information, we were so confused about everything, so I figured I'd just call you back, and they're like, oh, okay, we find the right you now. Oh my goodness. So like, sometimes I've missed, I get calls all the time from title companies, they're like, hey, we're working to schedule your closing, I'm like, no. You got the wrong guy,
He's an agent too?
yeah.
Oh, wow. That's great.
But I did have one of my Sphere reach out to me the other day, and they're like, oh, hey, I saw you were selling a house down the street. How's that going? And I was like, great. I'm not selling a house right now, so that's the other guy, but thank you for calling me instead of him. So, anyway, we got distracted. Where were we going? Amy, what's yours?
Share mine.
One a month, right? Okay. What's your priority number one?
Sphere.
Okay, let's talk about some of these strategies. Wait, what's the goal? What's the actual, is it trackable for your priority?
Oh. No, you caught me. How do I make that trackable?
You could turn it into a real goal.
All my strategies are.
So for years and years, while I was on the Red Sign team, we would have goals. So this year, the Red Sign team, they want to close 300 transactions. So their priority number one, if they said sphere of influence, guess how many they want to close out of sphere of influence? The goal's 300, just guess what percentage they want to close with their first priority. 100% sphere of influence. Guess what their priority two, guess how many they want to close? 100%. Guess what about priority three? Why do you think they do that?
Gee, 300% something. You're
Do
100%.
you guys ever set a goal to do something and get like half the way there? And then how do you feel about it? Half good? No, you feel awful. I don't, I feel awesome about everything. My coach called me out on this one time. She's like, what's your goal? And I can't even remember what it was. And then, well, I didn't get anywhere close to my goal. And then she's like, hey, what's your new goal? And it was bigger. And she's like, wait, you didn't achieve your goal. I was like, yeah, but I got kind of close. She's like, no, you didn't. I was like, I'm headed in the right direction. So I feel like if I set the same goal, I'm not gonna get further. I need to set a bigger goal to not hit again. And she's like, that seems wrong. And I'm like, oh, I'm still going. She's like, I guess. And that's when she told me I was weird.
The thing with this is, you gotta, when you set goals, you need to set them at a point where you can make them, so you have that. I get it,
Yep,
you have to have, accomplishments.
yes.
You have to congratulate yourself for your accomplishments, because then that's like, I did this, and that creates momentum.
I have never done that in my life. I'm a weirdo. I'm like, I like goals, but I always set them too crazy and I never accomplish them. It's weird.
And you still,
And I still set goals.
work.
I still go. That's why my coach thought I was so weird. Okay, so what do you want your priority to be? Do you wanna go the red sign version and pose 100% from your sphere and then even add a backup plan 2 or 3? Or what do you want?
Like this guy, I like to set a goal that.
Set a goal you can actually hit and get momentum, okay? Kendall. Oh yeah, Kendall, introduce yourself. We do this at the beginning, but you missed the, I'm new, introduce myself section.
So I'm Kendall, I, retired in corrections for 20 years. Decided to get my real estate license 4 years ago, now it's about 5 or 6 years ago. Started working with Vision for quite some time, went into property management. And did well, they kind of did a reconstruction of their area. And I started looking for another brokerage, so I've been with Keller Williams for probably about 2 years now, just in the referral brokerage. But I'm looking more into getting into the thick of it and making more money. So I'm kind of focusing on my real estate portion of it. I'm just putting some ideas together to like build my sphere, build my clientele. And that's kind of why I'm in productive series. I'm just trying to focus on how do I market myself and brand myself better.
You're Susan.
You're the expert.
I've
Especially with rentals.
done transactions, I've turned about 5 or 6 of my tenants into homeowners. That's kind of where I'm focusing on, but, I like Vision's mentality of turning renters into homeowners and then homeowners into investors. So I got more of an idea of the whole gist of real estate, like what you were talking about.
Yeah.
With getting more doors, I wanna get my own doors. And then my own portfolio. Ultimately,
plan.
that's my big goal is. I guess my retirement was my first residual income, and I wanna build more residual income.
Love it. All right, Amy, so what's your realistic, something that you could do
Well,
for your SOI? How do you, if you were those?
oh, the priority 1,
Yeah,
maybe. So 80% of the closing that come from this year.
so what's that 2? Is that 2? You want to do 3 next month, next
Oh,
quarter, right?
Right, for this year,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for quarter 4, 3 closings, so you do 2 from your SOI. I love it. Okay, what are some of your strategies? And maybe let's help her out with this too.
Well, I spent yesterday going through my database and emailing about the first time home buyer.
Love that.
and man, everything takes longer than it should, as you're like.
Yes.
I apologize. But like, I really was like selective about who to send it to, and there's some people that I'm like, it didn't feel like they could go in a mass email, but a lot of people, my ladies that I met from open houses, I can put in a mass email. People I have more of a relationship with, I feel like I should send it to them a little bit nicer, like a personal email, so I did some personal emails to some of the sphere, and, you know, and then you're writing personal, you write a little bit to each person. And that's what I got 2 people who signed up from that yesterday.
Sweet.
And then I plan next week to all those people that I sent the email to follow up with a text. Hey, just a reminder, not sure if you saw this in your email. And then my other plan for first time home buyer seminar, still all in strategy 1, is email it or text it to not the first time home buyer people in my sphere, but hey, do you know anyone who do you know that might be interested in this?
Yeah.
A lot of my friends already have homes, so it'd be like their kids.
Love
So
that.
it's a different type of email, so I really tried to like streamline the email so it's personal and doesn't feel like spammy. That's just not my,
Yes,
do that,
not the, it's definitely easy to just spam,
and it takes a lot. I
but
mean,
it takes a lot to
So
not
that was
spam.
one strategy.
How to get better results, not spamming. Okay, what else wait, what are we trying to accomplish again? 2 closings, I remembered. 2 closings, so what else? She's got a lot with around the first time home buyer seminar coming up. What else should be her strategies?
I keep thinking 10-4.
Ooh, yes, right from Ignite, 10-4.
The 10 likes.
10 conversations a day. Handwritten notes, I think it's 10 a week actually with that. The 10-5-1 with social media. Looking at you like you know the 4th one. What am I missing? Preview 10 houses? Is that one made up? Yeah. So go to 10 houses, 10 conversations, do 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 direct message on social media, and 10 handwritten notes a week. That would be great. Did Clay tell you guys how he got his first deal in real estate? Does he share that in his Ignite? Maybe it wasn't his very first deal, but so when he first got into real estate, he went down his phone, alphabetical order, and called every person and said, hey, I just got into real estate. Would you be willing to help me out? If you know of anyone looking to buy or sell a house, will you please text me? And they said, yep, because everyone will say yes to that. And he said, thanks so much for helping build my business. I'd like to send you a little thank you. What's your address? And then he wrote down their address, and then he hung up his phone. He went to his little card station and he wrote a little thank you card. Thanks for helping me build my business by referring your friends and family. I look forward to hearing from you. And he put it in an envelope, addressed it, and sent it out. That's all he did for like a month. And then he had closed a deal or 2, but then he said randomly one day, someone just called him. Said, hey, I got your number from so-and-so. I want to buy a house. And he's like, oh my gosh, real estate is easy. But he wasn't saying that for the first month when he made all of the calls, but it was like a month later that he got a referral, and that was easy for him. So yeah, he did that 10-4 kind of an idea without the social media. 10 conversations a day. Yep. If you did that, you would probably hit your goal, by the way. Do 10 likes, 5 comments, 1 direct message on social media. 10-5-1. 10 handwritten notes, and that's a week, but you could do that a day, same like Clay did. Every conversation gets a note. And then preview 10 homes a week as well.
Does that mean online or in person?
That's in person. The concept between that was, the concept with that is to get to know the market and feel comfortable showing homes. You can show homes for someone that's like on the opportunities. It's like, who will show a home for me in Spanish Fork, like Hallie just did. You can say yes, and that counts. You can just walk through homes yourself. So I would Vacants are the best ones for those, but you can just go to anyone. If you're like, I like this house. I've almost gone to like 3 or 4 houses that my wife wants to see. But then I know she'd want to buy that house. And all of the houses are homes that we can't buy. Jake will say no if I'm like, I want to buy this house. It's like, you don't make enough money. So. What else? Do some of you have similar goals to something like Amy, like 2 deals through your sphere of influence? What are you guys putting on yours?
Well, one thing I'm seeing is from when I did this, when I first started, and how I'm doing it now again, my goals are like way more focused and they actually have like meaning.
Yes.
Cause when I did this a couple of months ago, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna close 2 houses a month, I'm gonna do this and do that. And now that I've actually seen how it is and how like business goes, like my goals are focused, they actually make sense. I'm not just saying,
So when you have this all the way done, there's 2 things that could happen. Number 1 is these actually don't move you forward to your goal. Right? Like Amy could do all these things around the first time home buyer seminar and not end up closing 2 transactions from that. So that would mean that this moment in your writing down, you did a bad job. You put the wrong thing down and you focused on the wrong thing. The second thing, which is actually more likely, is that you will write all these things down and never do them. This will not become your plan. This will become an activity we did in one team meeting and you won't do them. And sometimes you will do them for a week or 2, but not for the whole quarter. If you can get in the habit of doing this and then sticking with this list, you will decide either did the action that I wrote down not move me forward, or did I not move forward because I did not take the action?
And also, I think this first-time home buyer, I mean, these are first-time home buyers, I don't think they're gonna close this year. I think it's more for next year.
Yep, you're prepping next year. Yeah. My 4th quarter goals are all about 2025. That's how I always set my goals. So whatever I want to accomplish, I'm doing this quarter, everything I do this quarter, I know that I will get big results next quarter. So I kind of live life like that. So Shoni the other day was like, will you send me your goals? And I was like, that's a loaded question. And he's like, why? I was like, well, it's not 2025 yet, but I'm setting all my 2025 goals so that I can bring that back into like, what do I need to do in the first quarter? So now I know what I have to do in the 4th quarter so I can hit my 1st quarter goal. But to know my 1st quarter and 4th quarter goal, I need to know my 2025 goal. And then I need to know what I need to be when I grow up. Like, what do I want to be? I don't know. You know, I never know. Money just comes sometimes. Like, how do I want to do that?
That kind of leads into what Lane Thompson said in last meeting,
Yeah,
not this one, but the one before, where he was saying, I spent a year going to be with BNI,
yeah.
givers gain, giving
Mm-hmm.
all this business to them, but I set a goal that I was gonna do it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that second year started to pan out. You know, he got like 5 transactions his first month in the second year that he was doing business there.
Yep. Amy, were you gonna say something too?
Okay, I could use some help. My second priority is a little different. I want to have more knowledge and skills.
Yes.
So like, coming to these classes,
Mm-hmm.
being involved, learning. I have a goal to like, I don't even wanna say it because you're gonna laugh. Some of these things that I haven't done, like. I can't say it.
Just say
You're
it.
gonna be like,
Just say it.
I'm sending you guys some case studies.
Yes.
Like, I want to be more competent on that, so I can be a better agent, so when I'm working with my sphere, I can be awesome.
I love that.
So I can put goals to like,
I want you guys to think back when you were children and you were learning to swim. Did your teachers like ever take you like out of the swimming pool and make you go like this
No,
outside the water? What did they have you do?
My dad just held my tummy. That's been-
Did anyone ever read a book about how to swim better? Do they even have those books? Sounds like they probably would, but they don't sell very much.
Okay, also, any kid- the age group of people who learn to swim don't usually really read them.
Yeah. You guys like talk to your friends and like, this is what I'm doing when I'm swimming, it's making me better. You should do this. Like have these masterminds about swimming. Okay, now let's fast forward to adults and we want to learn this new skill that's not swimming, but it's real estate. But for some reason, we think the best way to do it is like, let's have masterminds, let's go to classes, let's read about it, let's talk about it. We don't do enough of it. Keller Williams has this idea of having a growth plan, which I love. Everyone that creates a growth plan, they write what books they're going to read, what classes are they going to go to. And everyone is like, good job, I love this. I always write, what's one thing that I'm going to do that is uncomfortable? And that's how I go and grow in that area, right? So, that you could use that. How are you going to go put some of this into action? So you could have, like, you're going to practice a buyer or seller presentation 2 or 3 times a week with another person.
Oh,
Yeah,
someone mentioned it today. Get a printed copy of the rep sheet,
yep,
and I wanna print that off, and I wanna go over one section a day and just like read it. Explain it.
yes,
I got Angie Fisher talked about how she did that.
yes, go explain things. Yeah, that's another really good way to learn is to teach. So find someone that you could teach something if that's what you want to learn. Yep. Okay, I would like you guys to do this in such a way that you are committed to whatever is on your paper. One of the biggest problems with new agents is we kind of alluded to this. There are so many things you could do that you don't spend enough time doing one thing. I think even Kendall mentioned this from Lane Thompson, right? He said, I committed to do it for 2 years. He decided it might not happen in the first quarter, it might not happen in the first year. He was going to do it for 2 years. I see a lot of people that will say things like, open houses don't work. And it's like, how many open houses have you done? Like 2. Like, did you do them on 2 crappy houses? Maybe. Did you do it at 2 bad times of year? Maybe. Did you do it just at a bad time? Like, there are so many factors that go into it. And that would be the expectation of every time you do an open house, you get a closing. If that were the case, everyone would do open houses. You would not be able to do an open house for someone if every time you did an open house, you got a closing. Because that's the easiest. I do an open house, I get my next closing, boom, done. So that's not the case. It could be the case. I'm not saying you're not going to do an open house and get a closing. That could happen, but it might not be on your first, might not be on your second, might be on your third. Maybe it's every 5 open houses you do one. But if you've never done 5 open houses, you don't get that closing. And when does that closing happen? It's not the day of the open house. You're going to get leads, you're going to work the leads, and then they're going to end up closing. So your fruits of doing the open house will probably come 90-ish days after the open house. A lot of times we're not tying that together. Or you're going to do poor lead follow-up and never close an open house lead because of the lead follow-up and not because of the open house. So whatever you decide, this is my game plan. I want you to run it for an entire quarter. You have this 4th quarter plan that we put there, run it. If it works, first quarter becomes very easy because you just copy that and paste it to your next plan. If it does not work, you need to figure out why and what you're going to tweak or do differently, or if that's not a thing that you're going to do anymore. You're like, my plan is open houses, and you failed, and it was because open houses didn't work, but you worked them, then you can scrap open houses. Start door knocking. Door knocking work? Yes. Do open houses work? Yes. All of it works if you work it right. You need to figure out, are you gonna work it right, or are you gonna give up before it starts working? Any other questions? Okay, go finish this off. When you are done, I would love you to share this with me so I can help you stay accountable. If you have legible handwriting, you can take a picture of this and just text or email it to me. If I cannot read it or it does not make sense and you want a whole nother copy of these, we can make some more copies. It's not difficult to create this if you wanted to just redo it. Oh, a couple other things. I put 3 priorities. You don't need 3. You can have 2, if that's all you can come up with. You can have a 4th if you can't just keep it in 3. I'm okay with that. Typically we do 3. Same with strategies. You don't have to have 5. You probably need more than 1 though. You could have 6, you could have 3. I'm fine with things like that. But you're gonna have 1 goal. Okay, go out, build this plan, and then this is what we're running, starting today. I know this is the 4th quarter plan and it is not October yet, but we're gonna start today. So whatever you put there, that's what we're running. Deal? Okay,